Hi, I am Apurva Sheth and I welcome you to this latest edition of Fast Profits Daily. Now, the lockdown has got extended till the 3rd of May. This lockdown has been having unintended consequences on the economy as well. People have been staying at home and using limited goods and services. This has led to lack of demand for many industries and sectors and for many products as well. So this is an unprecedented crisis that we are facing right now, both in terms of health as well as economy. However, despite this problem, there have been companies which are benefiting from this crisis. And today I'd like to highlight these companies and speak about these companies to you. I call these companies as stay at home stocks. These are the companies which are benefiting from people staying at home. So today I'll talk about two companies which are listed in the overseas market and are doing phenomenally well, and then I'll talk about the Indian companies. So the first example of the company which is listed overseas is Zoom. Now, Zoom is a video conferencing app provider. I'm sure most of you must have been aware of it, and probably many of you must have also used it. Zoom has become popular these days, not only amongst professionals but also amongst family members as well. So people have been using Zoom's app to do video conferencing on a large scale. So the stock price of Zoom has quite literally zoomed in the year 2020. At the start of the year, it was trading around $68, whereas over the last few days, it has run up and is almost doubled and is currently placed anywhere between levels of $150 per share. Now, this is just one example. Now, the second example is Netflix. I'm sure most of you are aware about Netflix. It is an over-the-top platform which produces its own content for its audience. Now, people have been staying at home and with nothing else to do, they are on a binge watching spree, and Netflix is amongst one of the beneficiaries, of course. So the stock price of Netflix has been hitting new all-time highs recently. So both these companies are examples of stocks which are benefiting from people staying at home. Now I'd like to talk about Indian companies, or I want to share my own list of stay-at-home stocks which are likely to benefit from it. Now, before I talk about these stocks, I'd like to tell that all of them are not necessarily seeing a surge in demand for their products like Zoom or Netflix, but their demand is likely to remain relatively stable in terms of in times of crisis. Most of these companies provide services or goods which have relatively inelastic demand. So people would consume their services and goods even in the times of crisis as they would do in normal times as well. Now there are 6 sectors within which there are these various industries, and within these industries there are these stay-at-home stocks. So today I'll talk about the sectors and industries within which you can find these stay-at-home stocks which are likely to do well, or which will be least affected amongst the other companies. So let's begin. First in the list is healthcare. Now I'm sure you know that healthcare is an absolute essential in times like these. So healthcare as a sector is on the top of my list, and the industries within this sector are hospitals, medical equipment, and pharma companies. So you know that hospitals are treating these patients. Both public and private hospitals are treating these patients and are likely to see a surge in demand. Medical equipment manufacturers are also likely to see heightened demand, and pharma companies are in the news. I have spoken about pharma companies in my Telegram post, as well as in my articles as well. So the healthcare as a sector is likely to see increase in demand. Next in the list is FMCG. Now FMCG sector has industries like ready to eat food manufacturers, toothpaste companies, biscuit manufacturers, dairy products, soaps, detergents, sanitizers, etc. So all these industries and companies which are there in these industries are likely to see relatively stable demand even in times of crisis. And apart from these companies, supermarkets which sell these kind of products are also likely to see relatively stable demand. Next in line are the utility companies. So utilities like gas, telecom, power generation and distribution companies fall under essential services, and their demand is likely to remain stable. So pipe gas distribution companies are likely to see stable demand, or in probably in some cases it might even go up as people stay at home and would obviously use gas to cook food during times like these. So gas distribution companies, telecom is likely to be a major beneficiary because people will be consuming a lot of content when they are at home. So content as well as voice calls would likely go up during times like these, and power in some sense would take a hit as many industries are shut, and these are one of the major consumers of power. However, some portion of this electricity will be set off as people will be consuming electricity even while they are at home. So power generation and distribution companies would be affected, but their demand would still be there. Now, financial services like stock exchanges, depositories, brokers, as well as asset management companies. Now, stock exchanges are open. There was initially a lot of demand for shutting them down, but they have remained open. Obviously, the time has reduced for commodity and currency exchange, but the stock exchange is open as normal, and depositories are also working as usual. Brokers have taken a hit, but still the volumes have not suffered to a great extent. So brokers are also likely to do business as usual. And AMCs have seen phenomenal inflow uh, of SIP money in the month of March. So it's business as usual for them as well. Now, another sector which is likely to benefit from this is media. Now, news channel consumption of news has gone up drastically. People are glued to television sets, and they have been consuming news not only on television but also on digital platforms like mobile and websites. Apart from this, OTT platforms, over the top platforms like Netflix, although there are limited companies which are in the OTT space, but there are many content providers who are there who sell their content to these OTT platforms, and they could be beneficiaries of people staying at home. And finally, the last sector is education. Even in times like these, education is a basic necessity, and a lot of schools have started conducting their classes on these video conferencing apps like Zoom or Google Meet. So schools, coaching classes will shift to online platforms, and they will be least affected. Apart from that, there are even vocational training providers who would be benefiting as people will stay at home and will also want to learn something or the other on the internet, on online, to improve their skills. So such training service providers will also be benefiting from people staying at home. So these six sectors and industries within these sectors are likely to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of people staying at home, and that's why I like to call them the stocks which fall under these categories, these sectors and industries, as stay-at-home stocks. Now, the stay-at-home economy, if you can call them, is likely to be the biggest beneficiary of the coronavirus crisis. As people stay home, they will be consuming equal amount of goods and services amongst these sectors, or in some cases, as I've already told you, there could be a rise in demand for their products and their goods and services. So keep these sectors and industries in mind, and then you could use these sectors to pick your stocks of choice. And that's how you can find opportunity in times of crisis like these. So that's all from me for today. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and in case you did, then please like this video, share it with your friends and family, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and also subscribe to our Telegram channel where we share market insights daily, so don't miss them out. Also, don't forget to sign up to our free newsletter, the Fast Profits Daily. If you sign up to this newsletter right now, then you would get access to this free guide, how to trade the markets like a pro. So don't miss this chance and sign up right now.